Research shows that careers that require brilliant minds attract a much lower number of females. Why? It is a complicated question. Stereotypes, unintentional bias, lack of encouragement to name a few. Girls are brilliant. In fact, here are some brilliant role models.
Dr. Deborah Sloboda is a fetal psychologist. To become a fetal psychologist, she completed her PhD in the Department of Psychology at the University of Toronto. Dr. Sloboda then went on to earn her master's degree in science and kinesiology at Western University in London. She then went on to achieve her Bachelor of Science degree in human biology at the University of Guelph. For the degrees that Dr. Sloboda has earned, she has been able to conduct 16 years of research at several locations. Her research has mainly focused on the effects of the fetus during its growth and how it influences the child during infancy and childhood. Dr. Sloboda uses her research to write/co-write over 150 publications about her findings. She began her research career at the University of Toronto in 2000 until in 2011, where she studied the effects of stress hormones could impact a fetus's development. During her work at the University of Toronto, she received a fellowship from the Women's and Infants Research Foundation at the University of Western Australia in Perth. There, she investigated the effects of maternal high-fat nutrition on maternal care and associated changes in the reproductive function in offspring for a term of 5 years. After her fellowship concluded in 2006, Dr. Deborah Sloboda was offered and took a position at the Research Liggins Institute at the University of Auckland in New Zealand, where she explored the effects of fetuses' nutrition on reproductive and metabolic health. From the study, a new analysis came that studied on the parent's reproductive function and the onset of puberty in teenage girls can go hand in hand. Later on in 2008, she became the deputy director of the University of Auckland's Liggins Institute. By becoming deputy director, she not only conducted research, but also managed the wet labs facilities. This term concluded in 2012, where she moved away from New Zealand. During her investigations at the multiple institutes, she received many awards. Those awards included the Early Career Research Award from the University of Auckland in 2009, the Canada Research Chair in Parental Programming in 2009, the 2015 Nick Hales Award, and the 2016 Mo Hyde Lectureship Award from the Department of Gynecology for her paper on reproductive sciences. Recently, she was awarded the YWCA's Women's of Distinction Award in Science, Trade, and Technology. Currently, Dr. Deborah Sloboda uses her education to work as a principal investigator and associate professor at McMaster University in the Biomedical and Biosciences Department. As well as working in said department, she is associate member at McMaster University. In addition, Dr. Sloboda runs her own lab called Sloboda Labs within the McMaster Children's Hospital under Hamilton Health Sciences and the Developmental Origins of Health and Disease Department. Her research in Sloboda Labs mainly focuses on how poor maternal nutrition on the fetus impacts the fetus and how it relates to disease when they grow older, how the imbalances in fetus development affects the fetus, and the mother's nutrition intake impacts the offspring. They use the research to reach out to the community and influence the mothers. Finally, Dr. Sloboda is an associate editor and secretary for the Journal of Developmental Origins of Health and Disease. Dr. Sloboda uses her education to her benefit. She has marched in the Women's Days March in January and the March for Science in April. She also participates in many conferences, such as the Southern Ontario Reproductive Biology Meeting in 2016, the Canadian National Paternal Research Meeting, and many more. Dr. Deborah Sloboda is an impactful fetal psychologist who's been able to impact and develop the research world with her findings.